we're back with another episode of To the Moon. And in this episode, we've got one of the most incredible astro flipping superstars coming out of the Florida market, man. I've seen this guy come and just take it by storm. He's got one of the coolest teams, and really proud to have you in the community. The Moon, Remy.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you having me.
Of course. So let's take everybody back. Obviously, I know you, and I'm familiar with parts of your story, but I'm certain that people watching this right now want to understand where you come from, how you found real estate, and specifically this niche of wholesaling. So take us back to where you were prior to stumbling upon real estate, how it happened, how you found wholesale, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, man. So long story short, I was a trouble kid back home living in New Hampshire, Manchester, New Hampshire. I was getting in a lot of trouble, was, selling weed and stuff like that. And it's kind of always an entrepreneur, trying to make money one way or another. I ended up getting in trouble for that, getting caught 4 days after my 16th birthday. And I went away for like a good chunk of my 16th year of life to, YDC, Youth Juvenile Detention Center. And that moment was kind of the changing point that, I couldn't go on that route any longer. Obviously, seeing people, go to jail, get killed, stuff like that. It just wasn't the route I wanted to continue on. So once I came home, I started exploring different avenues. I actually started a little landscaping business, got a little van, a push mower, and weed whacker and stuff. And I tried that. I liked the business aspect of it and the freedom that came with it. I just didn't like the type of work. So I started doing some research on YouTube, watching videos. I came across, that drop shipping stuff. I saw wholesale. I came across Jerry's page. And I actually saw some of your stuff as well. And, the whole thing, the hook is like you can make $10,000 with no cash, no anything. And that kind of hooked me because it was really good money. And, if it was that easy, like they say, I don't know. It just interested me heavily. So started to do some research. I started to just connect with people online and kind of, just do a little bit of research, watching YouTube, your videos, Jerry Norton's videos and stuff like that. I then I connected with somebody in your community actually, and I didn't know about Astro at the time. So he pretty much just said, I met him online somehow, I think Facebook groups or something of such. And he's like, come and work for me. Cause I was calling this man about 30 times a day.
Nice.
Just asking him all these questions I had. He's like, come work for me. Started working for him. He's like, call agents, 30 agents a day, 5 days a week, and you're bound to find success. So did that, did 2 deals. And then he's like, look, man, I sold your 2 deals through Astro and through Keegley. Like, you need to join this community. So literally just took the money that I made from that and invested it in the community and, just kept on growing from there. But that's a brief summary about my story and where I came from.
Man, that's such a cool turnaround for you. I mean, I came from a pretty similar background with respect to, the environment that I was in and the people that I was hanging around with. Not to put any blame on anyone else. Of course, you participate as willingly in getting yourself into trouble as the people you're around, right? So, I mean, but it's like the option, right? You look around at your environment and you see where people are and what's going on, and you decide, hey, well, if I'm not going to make it in the world as, a physician or, an attorney or something like that, or I don't have a desire to do these kinds of things, and, maybe hanging out with these guys and getting myself into, some other underground business, we'll, leave it there. But, that's the option. But of course, it leads to all kinds of destruction, right? You found yourself in juvenile detention, which I'm sure was not a pleasant experience for you. But it opened your eyes to making that pivot, making that shift, and shift you did, right? So you go online, you start looking for opportunities that could potentially make you some money. You get some videos and content about you can make $10,000 on a single transaction, which is true. I think the part where it's like it's super easy and you don't need to do a lot, that's not, like
Yeah.
you know and of course when guys like me and Jerry and whatnot, we make content, of course it when you look at it in reality, right, it does take work and it requires you to invest time and money and opportunity and attention into it. By money I mean, you joined a community and you put yourself around like-minded people so that you could grow quicker. But
Yeah.
when you take it seriously, something really, really special happens. And I watched that happen with you, right? So you get 2 deals prior to coming into the community, and then you get into the community. What did the success trajectory look like then?
So it actually, I kind of got the shiny object syndrome. I stopped doing the agent outreach, and I took I took a couple months just to study the course and to learn and connect with people. And in that process, I actually moved to Florida, so I was kind of all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And after I did those 2 deals, I was like, okay, I'm going to do on market offers. I'm going to do agent outreach. I'm going to do micro flips. I'm going to do everything. And it actually hit me with a 6-month window where I did no deals.
Yeah,
But
because you got 2 spread out. You weren't focusing on one specific thing.
yeah, especially at the beginning, I think it's really key to just hone in on one thing. So I
Yeah.
kind of had to go back to the drawing table and see, okay, where did I go wrong? What did I mess up on? But now I had the knowledge and the people. And shout out to the trainer bros, because during that 6-month period, I called them up. I'm like, man, like, does this work? Like, I'm really struggling. It's been 6 months. I'm down to like my last $500. Like, I'm living in Florida now. I can't fall back on the old businesses that I did or any of that. So I was really stressed. But yeah, they helped me get through that. It was normal, part of the process. But yeah, 6 months, I didn't do anything, but I got the right people. I got the confidence and just seeing everybody's wins. It was like they could do it. I'm going to do it too, without a doubt. So after that, after that 6-month term, I had focused solely on agent outreach again with the AstroBlaster. Like when it was first created, like
Yeah.
really in the beginning of it, when there was just a couple people, I was going nuts on the AstroBlaster. And I was just hitting the phones every day, and that's the only thing I did. And I got 2 deals again, back to back. So one
Nice.
in November of 22, and then one at the first week of December of 22. And it was a 10K check and then a 15K check. So I went from my last $500 to 25K like that.
Yeah. And that opened up a lot of breathing room for you, and it gave you a runway to be able to start getting your systems in place and start really deciding how you wanted to structure the business that you were going to grow, right? And then you found a key partnership, which I think has really amplified what ended up happening through the Astro community. So let's talk about what happened there.
Yeah, big time. So yeah, I met my partner Matthew Schwenk. Big shout out to him. It's my brother. We got that family bond that we built. And we met each other through one of your calls, actually. I believe it was a Sunday call. And literally in one of the side comments, he's like, hey, who's out here in Jacksonville, Florida? Let's connect. He dropped a number, and right away during the call, I called him up like, hey, man, what's going on? Introduced myself. And I ended up disappointing one of his deals, his first deal ever. And yeah, we kind of just clicked up, caught the vibe, and then took a day, sat down, whiteboards, everything, computers, and just sat down and created goals, a game plan, outline. And our first real year in business together last year, we did 65 deals, and we closed about 450K in assignment fees.
My goodness, dude. How does that
Yes, sir.
feel though, to be, cracking near $500,000 in the first, your first year of really getting to it? I mean, that must just
Man.
be an incredible feeling, right?
Dude, this is amazing. And this year we're set to, double or triple that. Like we're already at 410K for this year, and it's 5 months in. So just to see, I mean, dude, it feels unreal sometimes. I can't even explain how grateful I am, man. Sometimes I just sit and think about where I was, 3, 4 years ago, sitting in the cell to where it's at today, just surrounded by all the good people, finding that success. It just feels so good, man. It's like it's undescribable, man.
I
It's
can feel
crazy.
it. I can feel it through the screen, dude. Like the emotion and the level of gratitude and positivity and impact that you get. Because what I really love about you is that there's a lot of people in the community who come into the community. Not a lot. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase this. There's some people who come into the community and they see it as an opportunity to take. Right? They're like, okay, I can get in here. I can connect with people who have business and deals. I can go in there and take. And they don't want to give back. They don't want to, be involved. They don't want to help newcomers along the way and help sow into them. And that's not what I experienced with you. I have watched, and it's a reason why when somebody says to me, "Hey, who should I reach out to in Jacksonville, Florida?" I have my immediate, in the top of mind person is you and Matthew. Right? I'm like, no, you got to reach out to Remy and Matthew. These two guys, they're phenomenal. They're super helpful. And Seth, for instance, right? So I know he's a part of your guys' team, and he was in a hard spot, right? All of us will remember the day that he came onto the coaching call and he was sitting there in his little basement suite in Michigan, and his furnace broke, and we could all see his breath, right, while he was on the call with us. And it's like, I'm like literally watching this guy. I didn't know what to say, right? I'm like, is he smoking, or is that just cold air coming out of his mouth? Like, what is going on here? And then he explained it, right? He's like, yeah, I'm in a basement suite right now. My furnace broke and I don't have enough money to fix it. But he was smiling and he was so positive and he was such a good spirited guy. And I know that you and Matthew seen that in him, and you invited him to come out and work with you. And the man's life has absolutely changed. I talked to him a little while ago and he's like, bro, I'm taking home 20K. Like, it's like, this is the craziest feeling. Like I'm a part of something. I'm with a brotherhood of people that help me be a better guy. And I feel so accomplished and I feel like I belong somewhere, and look at the money I get to make. And it's one of the most rewarding things for me, right, in the position that I'm in, when I get to see people come together and love on each other and find the best in each other, and then take that and then help evolve it to grow it, make it even more. And you guys just keep developing and growing and developing and growing. And then you pick up new people and develop and grow them. And it turns into a movement, right? To a point where you've got $410,000 in assignments in the first half of a year. That tells me that you guys could easily break $1 million, maybe even more for the year, right? Which is,
yes, sir,
flipping amazing, right? Like
it's wild, man.
That's what I'm talking about. This is the kind of financial freedom that is truly available to people in this business. How would you describe the impact of the community for your development and for the capacity for you to have built what you've gotten?
Yeah, man. I mean, I feel like it pretty much has everything that we need. Like everyone, like you showed Seth, for example, like we found him, or we connected with him in the community, and we literally just watched him on the calls. Every time somebody shared a win, he would just smile. The biggest smile would come on his face, and he's just genuinely happy for everybody that
even
was
though
sharing their wins.
he's broke and he's like experiencing hardship himself, he never let envy get the best of him. He didn't sit there and be like, why not me? And you can see it. There's some people, if you really watch closely, when somebody shares a win and you see them, they get a little squinty eyed. They get like a little off put, or you can see it that in their brain, they're like, oh, why are they bragging? Well, you only see it as them bragging because you feel like it's something that you can't do. You're not happy for them because you feel like you're excluded from the capacity of being able to do that, which none of us are. Every one of us have within us the capacity and the ability to get this done and to make this happen. It's just how much are we willing to dedicate of our lives and of our attention and energy to making it happen, right? You get people who come in and they do nothing, and then you get people who come in and they do the work. and you're one of those who did the work. And so you've got this wonderful community that you get to hang out with and do business with. You've got this beautiful brotherhood with Matthew. You've got Seth coming on your team. You guys are going to crack $1 million for the year. What's the goal? Like, what are you guys planning to do with all of this?
Yeah, man, just keep on scaling and keep that family bond in the team. We really just want to perfect everybody on the team and keep that, like I said, family like bond. Uh, right now we're kind of focused on the systems part of everything and getting really organized because we kind of just went head in first without any systems, without organization and stuff like that. So now we kind of taking it back a little
Sure.
bit and getting organized. So that's kind of the
I think
main
the
goal
next
for right
step
now.
is because as wholesalers we make a lot of active income, and I think one of the things that I need to do a better job at, because I've failed at it myself, right, is finding ways to save on taxes, finding ways for us to reinvest our money into assets that can give us a fair amount of depreciation and cash flow and help us mitigate our tax burden. And that's something that
Oh
I'm going
yeah,
to be really looking at over the next year to bring to the community so that we can all save more of what we actually bring in, right? Because when
yeah,
you're giving away 30-40% of your active income to the government, it feels
oh
wrong,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Especially if you're that you're not really taking from the services of the government, right? Like I don't think either of us are on any social assistance or anything like that. Not that we don't feel like it's our job to pay our fair share. We all have to. But I
yeah,
want to use the tax code to my advantage, and I want to be able to make sure that I'm mitigating my liability by producing opportunity for the American people to live in good, decent homes, to be able to have assets that depreciate. And so I think that's something that you should absolutely be focusing on now moving forward, as well as building your systems up, but really trying to take advantage of the tax code so that you guys can retain more of what you guys are building right now. I think that's going to be a really important step for you.
yeah. I'll definitely have to look into that. It was kind of, I mean, it's on my mind for sure. Definitely have to figure something out. We just got to put it into play and learn more about it
Yeah.
before it's too late. Cause yeah, I mean, they be trying to rob people, man.
I want to kind of explore the mindset shift that you had to go through from a 16-year-old troubled kid to a guy who's, bringing in hundreds of thousands of dollars in income. How much value do you put on the mindset work that we do in the community as having helped you shift perspective from maybe a scarcity perspective to a growth mindset?
Yeah, I mean, it's like the most important thing. Like having your mind right, having your mind clear and focused on the goal and who you want to become is highly important. One of the main things I struggled with at the beginning was telling people about what I'm trying to do, and they didn't understand it. And with me not making money for 6 months, people in my ear, have you made money yet? Have you made money yet? Does it work? Is it a scam? All that stuff. So that was like a tough part of the mindset and having that negative energy talking in my ear. So I kind of had to block that out and focus more on the community, people that understand the business, that are, know what's going on and all of that good stuff, and listen to them, share wins, and bring, essentially kind of my problems, my mindset issues to the calls, to people in the community, like the trainer bros, and having positive feedback, not just, hey man, is it a scam? Like, no, find like everything that you need is pretty much in the community. You got the people, you got everybody, and so yeah, leaning on the people was huge for me, and it helped me look at things more positively, and that it's possible. Another thing was calming the mind, the meditation thing. I never meditated until you kind of introduced me to it, and kind of taking the time to actually sit there and meditate, shut the phone off, shut everything off, and just sit in peace with the mind. It allows me, or it allowed me to find that quiet place in my head to go and basically hit the reset button anytime I need to, and that I still do it every day or almost every day. Like when the
Wow.
day gets too crazy and I feel drained, I'll go and meditate, sit down, lay down, and just sit in quiet. And every time you know, I finish it, I feel completely reset, at peace, happy, and yeah, just kind of being around positive people, um, seeing that it's possible, and you know, keeping that peace in the mind.
That's so
It's
cool,
a
dude.
Yeah,
It's so
man.
cool. What a beautiful thing, man. You really like you lifted me up today, dude. Because I practice what I preach, right? If you were to ask Bobby, who's around me all the time, does Jamil really like do this himself, or is this just stuff he says and then kind of just does what he does? He'll tell you, man. He'll like come into. I didn't even know he was walking into my house yesterday. He came into my house and I was, on my laying on my bed in meditation, just getting it in. And I'll try to do it sometimes 2-3 times a day, just to, like you just said, hit the reset button, change my emotional state, change my energetic state, and then come back replenished, revived, and ready to go on to the next thing. And it's such an important thing for us uh, to activate our stillness and to downregulate our nervous system, which unfortunately in today's modern world, with social media, with all the stressors of being an entrepreneur, we're firing on fight or flight so much throughout the day, and our adrenal glands are just overworked, producing all kinds of chemicals to that response. And so our body is confused. It doesn't know if we're in a war, or it doesn't understand if we are enjoying it, right? And so it ends up having a pretty negative cumulative effect on us if we don't have tools to mitigate it. And I'm so glad to hear that you're meditating still almost every single day, and that it's become a part of your life. This will be something that you'll teach your kids and will be able to have a positive impact on the lives of the folks that come around you, because they'll be like, Remy, you got this great mindset on you. You're making all this money, and how do you keep it all together, and what's your secret? And if you were to share with them, it's, going inside and finding a place of stillness. That would my job. Like I did my job then, because one of my primary objectives is to spread meditating to the people, and especially in the world of entrepreneurship, because I know how powerful it is and how much it changed my life. What does your
Yeah, man.
family think about how you've evolved? I mean, your parents must be just super proud of you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like it's the best feeling ever. To be looked at as the troublemaker in the family, the one that's always getting in trouble, letting people down, to just hearing like my mom and my dad say I'm proud of you, man. It's like it's the best feeling in the world. And my mom gonna be able to retire in January and come and live with us full time. My dad's gonna be able to retire in November, come live with us, and get the family all back together, because it's just me and my brother out here. We just up and moved. And you know I like, if I wasn't gonna do it, who's gonna do it? One of my big whys is my family. I want to take care of my family and give them the life that they deserve. And now being able to do it and see, like, okay, like this is the path that takes me to be able to do that, and seeing it in real time is freaking beautiful, man. It's the best feeling in the world. And I'll take this feeling over any set of money any day. But the
Man, oh
money
man.
just gives the freedom and the option to do so, of course. But it's the best feeling ever. And I'll add to the mindset thing. The question you asked before this, what was the biggest shift in my mindset? I think another, in addition to everything I said, one of the biggest shifts was realizing that not everybody was out to get me. You know,
Mm.
not everybody is. There's actually genuine people out there willing to help, willing to share knowledge, willing to lift you up. Because I came from a place that everybody kind of hates on each other, and when I came around, people like yourself and even Matthew, I tell him all the time, I'm like, I used to raise my eyebrow at you for months because you were way too nice. And just changing the mindset to, okay, people really just want to help. People just want to help. Not everybody's like that. I think that was like one of the top things I had to
And it,
switch in
it
my
changed
mindset.
you. It changed you because now you really just want to help people, and you don't have an ulterior motive. You've become infected by the mind virus of positivity and love, which, maybe it's not a
Yeah,
mind virus. Maybe it's a good one though. It's just like you're spreading that, and you're showing people who maybe come in with the same hang up, that they feel like the world is just this negative place full of takers, And
Yeah.
there are genuine people out there. There are humans that want to see you win, and they, if you vibrate at that frequency, then they will be naturally magnetized to want to be around you. And you've experienced it, you're living it, and you're growing it in every single way. And I'm super proud of you, Remy. It's so great to see the success, to hear where you guys are taking things, and to watch how you've been so instrumental in lifting up newcomers into the community. I'm grateful for you and everything that you, Matthew, and Seth are doing. If there's somebody out there right now who is struggling in a dark place, maybe like yourself when you were 16 years old, what would you like to tell them?
Yeah, man, I would say, you know, get around people that are gonna lift you up. Stop trying to, fit in and following the crowd. Uh, just get around like-minded people. Do better for yourself. Write down your whys. Why do you want to change your life? Who do you have to take care of? And write it all down and look at it every single day and wake up and look at it and see, are you working towards that? Are you working to help your family, help everybody around you? It's not about yourself at the end of the day. If you're in a dark place, just know that there's a lot of people depending on you and that you need to get out that hole, get around positive people that's going to lift you up, because it doesn't matter. I'm sure you wake up some days, Jamil, and you're like, damn, man, I'm just tired. I'm depressed right now. I
Of
don't feel
course.
right. Like it's part of the journey, man. We all feel it. So it's regular. It's normal. We all go through it, man. Just remember your whys, the people you got to take care of, and anything you go through, man. I look at it like everything happens for a reason, and the harder, the hardest thing I go through, or the more pain I feel, the bigger the reward every single time, and it's been proved time after time after time. And just that's another thing, changing that mindset to, okay, the harder it is, the bigger the reward. I promise, like
It's
it's so
real.
true, man.
There's
It's
so
it is,
much.
man.
You've just got to weather through it. You got to surrender to the tough times and have faith that it's going to get better, and know that things are happening in your favor. But you've got to take action towards it, right? Nothing is going to just
Big
magically
time.
unfold for you in your life. It will come together for you in a very magical way, but it requires you to take steps towards it. And you've shown that, Remy. You've lived it. You walk it every single day, and I'm proud of you, brother. Welcome to the moon, man. You
Thank you,
knocked
man.
it out of the park.
Let's go, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Folks, if you enjoyed this, do Remy and I a favor and leave a comment here, please. Share with Remy your feelings and experiences about his story, and how he's been so incredibly gracious and humble, and also extremely successful at what he's done. And I'm sure there's people that are going to want to reach out to you and do business with you. How do people get a hold of you, Remy?
Yeah, I would say two ways. You can hit my phone up. My direct line is 603-858-9959. And Instagram, would appreciate a follow. It's Remy Rheault, one word, REMYRHEAULT _ So that's my Instagram. Either or works. So thank you,
Awesome.
man.
So send Remy a text, a phone call, reach out to him, give him a follow on IG. His company is Real Estate is Fun, and they embody that in everything they do. Remy, I love
Yes,
you,
sir.
brother. Congratulations on all the success, and we'll keep it going from here. Take care.
Thank you, brother. Much love.